This is a story called The Little Monsters, Chapter 93, The Kids Go Abroad Alone. It's almost the school summer holidays and the kids want to go abroad, but their parents won't take them because of work, so they book a holiday of their own. They decide to go back to Cyprus for 2 weeks. Leading up to it, they save up every penny of their pocket and chore money and are able to pay for their holiday in full. When they booked the holiday, they did it over the phone using one of their dictator machines. The machines make their voices sound like adult voices, so the person on the other end of the phone knows no different. They booked to go on the second week of the school holidays. The first day they tell their parents that Kika's having a sleepover for 3 nights, and she tells her parents that Bumpy's having a sleepover for 3 nights. Then they make their way to the secret hideout. Where all their luggage is. They stay there for a while, and then they get a taxi to the airport. When it came time to get on the plane, they made sure that there was adults in front of them and behind them, so that no one would think that they were alone. When they get to Cyprus, they make their way to their hotel and then tell the staff that Kika's dad had paid for everything in full. Thankfully, the staff believe them and they make their way to their rooms. Once they've unpacked, they decide to go out to explore. Whilst doing so, they found an indoor and outdoor water park which was twice the size of the one at the camp they stayed at the first time they went to Cyprus. That night, when no one was in their rooms, the kids put their toy crabs in their beds. When they got into bed, they lied on them, causing them to pinch them hard, making them jump out of bed howling in pain, much to the kids' amusement. The next morning, when the coast was clear, they went and got their toy crabs back. Then they put pincushions in people's beds, and then they went downstairs for breakfast. After breakfast, they left the hotel with a load of adults so no one would know or suspect that they were there alone. As they were leaving the hotel, they sneakily put fat sweets in people's pockets and itching powder down their necks and trousers. Then they made their way to the water park. They stayed there until lunchtime and then they went and found a cafe and had some lunch. That night, after tea, they decided to have some proper fun of their own. When they arrived the day before, they noticed that there was lots of pubs and clubs, and they decided that they were going to sneak in as many as they could without getting caught. They left the hotel about 6:30 p.m. and made their way to the first pub. When they got there, they managed to sneak in without being seen. They went round drinking other people's drinks and then they sneaked behind the bar when no one was looking and took some bottles of beer and put them in their backpacks. Then they went on to the next pub. When they got there, they stayed there for about 1.5 hours doing the same thing they did in the first pub. Then someone pointed them out to the staff and they made a run for it and went on to the next pub. At the next pub, they went round drinking everyone's drinks again, and when the staff weren't looking, they went behind the bar and helped themselves to drinks. After about an hour, they went on to the next pub. This time they went round putting fart gas in people's drinks and drinking the ones they hadn't put fart gas in. Then, when the staff weren't looking, they went behind the bar and put as many bottles of beer as they could in their backpacks. Then they went on to a nightclub and sneaked in without paying and without being seen. They stayed there for about 2 hours and then they went on to another club. When they got there, they sneaked in without paying or being seen. By this time they were already quite drunk, but they didn't care because they were having a ball. The whole time they were in there, they helped themselves to drinks from behind the bar. However, a member of staff saw them and alerted security, but they ran out of the fire door before the security guards could get to them. They ran back to the hotel laughing their heads off. The next day, the kids phoned their parents to tell them that Stumpy was having a 3-night sleepover, and Stumpy told his parents that Stampy was having a 3-night sleepover. That day, it was raining very heavily, so they went to the indoor water park and stayed there all day. They had lunch and tea in the big cafe that was there. Whilst they were there, they went round sneakily putting fart gas in people's drinks and soft fart sweets in their food. When they went back to the hotel, they got showered and changed, and then they went to one of the pubs. This time they didn't go to the same pubs, they went to different ones. When they got to the first one, they went round constantly pinching people's bums, flicking their ears, pulling their hair and kicking the back of their heels discreetly, of course. Then they drank as many drinks as they could, and then just before they left, they went into the toilets and threw stink bombs in the cubicles and then in the bar. Then they ran out laughing and went on to the next pub. When they got there were security guards on the door, so they sneaked in through an open fire door, and thankfully no one saw them. They stayed there for a while, drinking every alcoholic drink they could, and then they went on to a club. Again, when they got there, they went through the fire door because there were security guards at the main doors. When they got in, they didn't stay that long because they were already quite drunk. After about an hour, they went back to the hotel and went straight to bed. The next day, they phoned their parents and told them that Creeper was having a 3-night sleepover, and she told her parents that Grumpy was having a 3-night sleepover. That day was a scorching hot day, so they spent some of it on the beach and the rest of it at the outdoor water park. When they went back to the hotel, they decided to just go to the family club. When they got there, they drank the old alcoholic drink, but the rest were soft drinks. After 2 hours, they went back to the hotel, played some games, had a few drinks, and then went to bed. The following day was a scorcher, so they went to the beach for a few hours and swam in the sea. Then they went back to the hotel for lunch, and then they went to the outdoor water park. That night was their last night there, and they were adamant that they were going to enjoy it. They got ready and went to the family club for a couple of hours. And then they went round drinking every alcoholic drink they possibly could. Then they decided to leave and go to a pub. As they were doing so, they threw stink bombs in the club. When they got to the pub again, they drank every alcoholic drink they possibly could. However, the security guards saw them and told them to leave. They did as they were told, but as they were leaving, they threw stink bombs in the pub. The next day, they had to be out of the hotel by 12 p.m. When they got to the airport and went to get on their plane, they made sure that there was adults in front of and behind them. When they got home, their parents had no idea that they'd been abroad. They just thought that they'd been staying at each other's houses. End of chapter 93. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you like it. Take care. Love yous. Bye.